we're deciding who's going first by rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
PT wins.
I win.
PT wins. All right, PT.
There we go. Alrighty. Welcome back to a family business podcast. We are going to discuss today everything new in the world. What does that mean?
That's your topic?
Yeah.
Everything new in the world?
It's going to be 3 hours, and we're going to sit here and go through every single thing new. No, I'm just kidding. AI and technology. We've talked about it before in the past of how prevalent it's becoming not only in our industry, but just in our everyday uses in life. So I think it'd be important to kind of just share our thoughts on how it has changed our day-to-day, because we have slowly incorporated it into our business, into our life, and then kind of discuss maybe what we hope to see comes of it, right? It's quite interesting to see across the board all these different new ways to incorporate AI. We can talk a little bit about how Real is incorporating it in to benefit not only us as agents, but also to help our clients as well. But I think we should start with our personal lives. Let's kind of just dig in a little bit, and I'll kind of tell you how I've slowly started to use AI a little bit. A couple different ways that I incorporated is finances. There's different ways that you could look up and use questions to determine where you should put money, what's happening in the market. It's a really good information source. Yes, it's just pulling from your websites, your Googles, all of that good stuff, but it knows what you're looking for, which is quite amazing. I also use it to plan my days or have schedules for the week on when I need to do social media, all of that different type of stuff. So maybe share a couple of things that you use AI currently, and we'll discuss on.
Well, I'm not really joking, but this past weekend, when it comes down to packing, that's always a challenge, right? And especially when you're used to packing last minute, like I usually am, but I did pack the night before. But what I did, actually the day before.
Well, you had to, because you golfed all day before we left.
So what I did was I typed into Chat GPT exactly what we were doing, and it was almost perfect on the packing plan where I didn't overpack, which is nice, which I'm pretty notorious for overpacking.
The only thing that it forgot was what, Brad? What did it not remember to put on the list for you?
Boxers and t-shirts, which, that should probably be obvious. Right. So, come on. But no, when it comes to business is probably more so your question. I use Chat GPT for just random stuff now. Like if I don't know how to word something, if I wanted to make it sound a little bit better. I will say that if you just run it through Chat GPT and you don't work on it at all, it sounds a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit too programmy. But the longer you use it, the more that it recognizes how you talk and all that stuff, which has been great. And we also use it through BOEYE, of course, which has been great. And I think that has greatly improved. We've had clients come back that have been on there for a year or so. Well, the one that we're meeting with tomorrow and the one that we're meeting with at 3:30 today, both got captured by BOEYE's
Margaret.
AI,
Yeah.
Margaret.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You talk about Chat GPT. Yes, but I think anybody out there that's listening, I'm open for suggestions. If you're a husband and wife and you're in business together, do you share your Chat GPT? Do you have your own Chat GPT? Because
I think I should probably get my own.
I think you need to, because he literally asks it's the dumbest questions. Like he asked it about what kind of TV he bought shoes last night.
Right.
So he put stuff in there about shoes. I'm like, this is not what our Chat GPT is for. But anyway.
Sure. It's for everything in life, right, PT? You can vouch for that.
Yeah, I definitely think you guys should use different accounts, because what blows my mind every single time is that you can go back and say, depends on what pay grade you use for Chat GPT, right? But it will remember, we go for a podcast topic. It remembers what the name is, what we've talked about in the past, what my past social media calendars have been. So yeah, I recommend switching it up.
Right now, I have to say this is Andrea. Otherwise, it says things about Brad. So yes, we need to get you on your own Chat GPT,
All right,
Brad.
so now we've established that. Thank you, PT, for costing us a little more money. Excellent.
It's worth it.
So obviously Chat GPT, and yes, I use it for everything. Packing was a crazy thing. I did do that. The other thing is that we have a trip planned, And normally it's this big, huge ordeal to figure out who's bringing what for what meals and laying that all out. And I have it written out, what I'm going to pop in there so that ChatGPT can just do that for me. The other thing is, I think that people think too much that it's like, to your point, Brad, like going to take away the personalization. Like it is if you just are telling it, hey, tell me what to say in this situation. But more so like when I use it, it's like I just brain dump my thoughts into it, and then it puts it into formal sentences and an actual statement, and then you tweak it. The other thing I love is, and I just discovered it would do this, is that it will make carousel posts for you on Canva. Like it's linked with Canva. We have a couple PowerPoint things recently that it literally will create the PowerPoint for you. I mean, it's all these things that I think that people don't. I think they think ChatGPT and they just think that it writes a description or something for you. They don't understand all the other things it can do. The other thing for AI wise, like you said, is YLOPO. And also, what was the thing we were in our car when we were in Chicago. I turned 50 this last weekend, and we were in our car in
Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh.
To you.
That's enough.
We should have done that to open up.
So the car though, like each person in their seats had their own little AI thing on the door. It was electronic. I think BMW, was it, or Mercedes?
Yeah, it was.
But like I could like talk to my little door and tell it what temperature. And I mean, it's just crazy to me, the things that are happening in our world when it comes to artificial intelligence.
Well, yeah, and to bounce back all over the board. But yeah, my everyday when I drive my car, my Tesla, it's all automatic. And my favorite part is that if something's loaded in my calendar, which you have to live and die by your calendar. But if you're going somewhere, I just hop in my car and it tells me where I'm going, which is fantastic. I think the biggest thing that we have to understand, and the notion is right now, is that everyone wants, we have to keep up with AI. If you're not using it now, you're going to be behind the curve. And I think it's hard to understand specifically on what the meaning is behind that. But I think the simplest form is that as AI is established and is around, it's going to continue to grow, and we have to keep up with it, right? So you have to use different ways to find a way to incorporate your life, and it makes your life easier. We'll go through and talk more ways. We've touched on listing descriptions, and it plans out if you have an out of town client coming in. You can plan your 10 showings, and you just put the addresses in, and it tells you exactly where to go. So from the simplest form of a listing description to the craziest thing of driving your own car, right? It's incredible.
Well, in Brad, this is also crazy. So when we go to stay at a hotel, we're always weird about what room we stay in. So Brad literally told ChatGPT the hotel we were staying at, what floor we were staying on, and it weighed out the options for the rooms and the view and why one was better than the other. That's a little, and all of
your options, like such and such room has a view of this, and such room is a little more quiet. If you like the nightlife more, you want to pick this room. It's really cool.
Yeah, which saved Brad about an hour, because otherwise Brad would have analyzed that for like an hour.
It's a time saver. Like there's no reason, there's no excuse not to. And there's this notion about like, it's going to take over jobs. It's going to, take over the world. Well, there is just like we talked about, there's a missing human component of it. We are the human component. It's learning from us. So really it's how I kind of perceive it is it's kind of like a parrot, right? So it's seeing the information that's coming in, it's understanding, it's learning, and then it's giving back to us on what other people have used the AI for. So, they're learning from us and they're giving it back to us, but we also have to be careful. I mean, for example, listing descriptions, I'll have to remind it that, hey, we've used the same sentence over and over, the first one over and over again. It's well-maintained property. Let's switch it up a little bit. And they do, and they understand that, and then they learn and understand that they cannot repeat that particular sentence over again.
Yeah, so, that's a great point.
There's certain words like tariffs that I tell it can never use.
Can't use that. But it's one of those where it can get, to your point, repetitive, and it's going to keep on getting better and better. But I always say that it's a good tool, right? Like it shouldn't be your only use of it. I mean, you still need to learn how to read and write.
I like just sitting here thinking about it. I'm thinking about this. It's like, okay, in golf, when you guys got range finders, right? Like that was a big deal, right? I mean, did that replace you being, your swing and how far you could hit it? No, but it's just a technology that's helping you to govern that distance rather than the thing on the irrigation.
Although, the more that I really think about it, the irrigation marks were probably a little better. So then I didn't know I was exactly 112. I was around 150. So then you didn't try to dial it in too much.
But to your point, PT, it is, and they talk about all this all the time, is like when you say, will it take away, our jobs, or you don't need humans anymore, or whatever. It's so not true. But that being said, the people that don't embrace it, you're going to be left behind, because it's like, it's like if you would have just kept a car, I don't know what cars were powered by way back in the day. But like those little scooter things, or those little, what are those things we were riding on at the Chicago?
Horse and buggies?
No.
Like what do they call the tuk-tuks or whatever, like it's like a little
Lime scooters.
Yeah, whatever it is. Okay. But anyway, so the people then that embraced, cars and vehicles and whatever go faster, right? It's the same thing with this. It's just something new that's coming around, and it's up to us as, especially as agents, right? And servicing your clients, you need to learn, right? All the different ways that the different AI tools can help you do your job better for your clients, because then you have more time and you're doing a better job for them. Why would you not embrace it?
Well, and you have to understand, you have to do a little bit of your own research first to understand that particular question, right? I mean, it all starts of understanding where it fits into your business, where it fits into your life, where you need help, and then you go from there, right? And the more you use it, just like everything else in the world, everything you do, you'll get better at it, and you'll understand what better questions to ask, what information to give more in depth. So it's even I've really started to use it within the past month daily, and it's quite incredible. I mean, even Kaylee, my girlfriend, she was trading out her lease and getting a new lease, and essentially she just reverberated everything the person said to her back into ChatGPT, and it broke it down for her in layman terms, and she was able to understand and negotiate a little bit better, which is fantastic. So it almost can be used in every single component of your life, which is incredible.
I mean, there's no question. When somebody told us about the packing thing, and I'm just going to try it, right, and it works. Yeah. So you
don't forget to pack underwear.
Yep. Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree, PT. I probably use it 4 or 5 times a day right now for things that and it's almost like sometimes it's like a test for me too. I'm like, I wonder if ChatGPT can do this. Let's see how good ChatGPT does at this, right? And that's the mind-blowing thing. Or when it comes to listing descriptions, and I'm sure maybe you've already done this, but if you haven't, if you're an agent and you're using it for listing descriptions, 2 things that I guess I didn't really realize. I used to just kind of like spit out a bunch of stuff about the property. I'd just go, blah, 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 blah,
comma.
Yeah. And then I would tell it, make that pretty and keep this many characters, or can you make me a social post for it, and da-da-da. Well, I recently learned that I could upload my MLS, so it has all the measurements and the features, and then it bases it off that. Also, if you've already had your media done, put the link to the media in there. It goes in there because you can't upload videos and pictures, but if you put the link,
right,
it will access the link and go through all those, and then it will write your description and do it. I'm like, wow, okay, just learn something.
It's pretty neat. I mean, really
think about all that. It's crazy to me.
Well, and there's a lot of positives, but there's also negatives with it too. And this is something I wanted to touch on as well. And kind of why this topic came to fruition today is there was an article written about Zillow reviews that there was in the 500 percentile range of fake AI generated Google reviews on Zillow and Google. And so, that also kind of shades light into social media and those avenues as well, with followers and bots in that sense. But I think it's, goes back to the human capability of it too, is that we have to be careful. Just like every conversation we have, is that consumers can see through things, right? They can see that, it's one click away on your Instagram page to see all these bot followers that you have, or the comments that are just odd and off and weird. And so there are negatives to it as well. And it's still learning, but I was very shocked to see that now Google reviews are being purchased for negative reasons. I mean, why wouldn't you want, it's not that hard. And I think we've actually done a pretty good job of pushing and getting back to Google reviews. And it's as simple as an ask. And why would you waste money on
Right.
AI
Well, and
reviews?
if you get, and here's the other thing too, it's just like people, this is what I would say about that. Number one, I don't have any, and I guess we're different people, but I have no desire to have a review on my page that's not actually from someone. I mean, part of the fun of, I know we're getting a little off topic here, but part of the fun of having someone write a review is that heartwarming feeling and the, the immense gratitude that you feel that you were able to help that person. So if it's a fake review, that's just stupid. So if you're doing that, just stop. I mean, that's just I could just say lots of things right now. But the other part of that is do you remember back in the day when like Instagram, Facebook, people were buying followers?
Sure.
And it was like the rage, right? Never did it. Doesn't even explore how to do it. I just thought it was the silliest thing also. But all of that blew up in people's faces because basically what happened is that going back to AI and technology, the algorithms figured out what was going on. So the same thing is going to happen with this. It sounds like it kind of already is, right? I mean, so you're just going to lose your place in line and your search options because you're not doing it. I mean, what in the world? It's like, what do we say all the time? You got to take the worst. Like, why do contracts say weird things? Because you have to what, Brad?
You have to take the dumbest person that you know, and you have to go from there.
Yep, that's right. Well, I'm actually,
and I have to give credit to who?
No, we're not going to say it on here. But he knows if he's listening that he's the one that told you that.
That's right. But no, it's quite. I mean, I'm actually shocked by that, just because it's for us. It was so difficult to get Google reviews because at one point, the domain or the IP address had to be within a certain amount of mileage around your location. So people are way smarter than I am in technology and figure out ways to get through screening. But it was quite difficult for us for a while to get reviews, especially for clients that had moved out of the area. We're like, well, can you at least try for us? And then they would get a notification that said, oh, you're not in the same area as this person. Which
is crazy to me that it thinks like that, because if you do have listings, I mean, a lot of times people move out of the area.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's nuts to me. But
or even referrals. I mean, if you refer something out of state,
you
technically, you'd feel that you want some type of response review back.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? So that's just, I mean, there must be software or AI that's did this, but like people that review things like on Amazon, I mean, you're obviously, how do they know where you're writing it from? And what's all that stuff with a verified purchaser and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know. But anyway,
but going back to Waialopo, like when we went to the conference here this last spring, the improvements that they've made with their AI, and I don't know what they're doing, it's way over my head. But when you read these now, they're just such great conversations, and it does seem like it is actually a person that works in a real estate office, whereas before, not that it was bad, but it was more awkward at times. So you're seeing the advances in AI, I mean, just on that platform alone. Mm-hmm. And like they reminded us, which is kind of funny, AI is smarter than any of us.
Right.
So we have to realize that we think on the Waialopo at times that, oh, that's kind of an awkward question. But I mean, obviously AI really thinks that that's the way that they're going to get them to be a hand raiser. Well,
and that's what I was going to say. So, and not to dive too deep into Waialopo, but one of the things is it's just, it operates a lot. This is what people don't understand. And not just Waialopo, any type of, CRM or whatever that you're utilizing. I mean, even Leo, right? Within reason for real brokerage. It's going to learn you, right? It understands what questions you ask. It understands when it answers, when you respond back to it. So if you're turning off your AI, right? Like, so that's like a lot of agents right now for some of those lead generations or whatever. Like, well, I don't want the AI talking to them because it sounds weird. Okay, well, you're not talking to them. So if you're an agent that is just turning it off, again, going back to, you need to embrace the technology, and you have to like engage with it, right? Like you need to be working side by side with the AI, because then it learns how you would say things. And to your point, Brad, the way that they do that is they took years and years, well, whatever, most recent data and calls from actual real inside sales people, ISAs, and they took what worked the best. And those are the things that the AI is using in their conversations. So as an agent, again, if you think you're smarter than the ISA who's, I don't know what some of the stats were, I bet you're not. I mean,
Well, yeah.
seriously. And turning it off does you no benefit.
No,
I mean, none.
well, and that's the whole point of it, is that there's somebody following up with these people. And if you turn it off, are you really going to, with all of your leads, are you really going to remember to get back with them? Because I would be willing to argue that most agents, when they don't hear back out of their lead the very first time, drop it.
Right. It's a two-way street. I mean, we want to work aside it, right? So in While Open, once again, we're not going to get too deep into this, but they'll reach out, they'll touch base, they'll do their algorithm. But at some point when there is a hand raiser, we're supposed to jump in, right, and respond when we believe that there should be a response. And so that also teaches them as well. Okay, maybe I should have tweaked my sentence or response back to this person after that question. So it takes us to improve it, right? And I think that's such an important thing to understand as well. And the advancements are incredible. I mean, just within 2025, I feel, one, that there's been a higher uptick in AI responses, and two, I think there's been consumers cannot tell the difference, right? We have clients that have conversations with our AI, and we think it's kind of silly because we know it's AI, but they don't. And that's the incredible thing and the advancement in it. So it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to improve, and at one point, I think everything that is communicated through AI it's all going to look the same. People are going to continue to recognize and understand. Everything's going to be placed in front of them as AI in some form.
And the next one that's coming along, which is kind of creepy, is your voice.
Right.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people are ready for that yet, but it's unbelievable how it's advancing quicker and quicker. And like you just said, PT, I truly feel that AI is not going to replace real estate agents. It's going to replace the real estate agents that choose not to use it.
Well, or the real estate agents that they don't understand that their job is more than just opening a door and letting them walk through a property, right? Like AI, sure, you can go out, so I just saw this. Where did I see this? Was it on a podcast, or was it like where literally like, okay, oh, and I know it was definitely something online where they were like, when they were talking about replacing it. Okay. Well, the agent, you can go, it's just like saying the agent goes online, or the buyer goes online and they finds their house, right? So they go online, they search all these houses, they find the house. And so then the agent takes them to the house, right? Okay, well, do you need an agent anymore? And I think the stat, if I remember correctly, I should have printed this morning. It was like, of those people that found their house online, like 97% of them still used an agent to write and negotiate the offer. Well, why? Because their agent was knowledgeable and knew how to help them, especially in a market where you're competing offers. They knew how to help them compete and get the offer, right? Like there's certain things that AI can't determine. It's just like when we talk about Zillow's estimates, right? Why are they so wrong? Because it's an algorithm and it's artificial intelligence. It's analyzing data. It has no clue if your house is at the corner of Brady Street and 53rd with a stoplight versus if you back up to a golf course, right? It doesn't understand those things.
Yeah,
it can't feel the emotion.
Raw data.
Yeah, can't touch, feel, see, or hear, right? No, I mean, it just doesn't have those components. And I think, and just to touch on that as well, there's only a certain threshold that the AI can go up to, right? At some point, a human needs to step in, show the property, write the offer, negotiate, talk through, right? I mean, there's only a certain amount where that AI can actually go through. So it's quite interesting. As we talked about, it's going to evolve. It's going to continue on. There's going to be new things that come out all of the time. Maybe we'll share one thing each on either what we've learned recently that we might start to incorporate, or what we look forward to with AI potentially.
I can start. Well, what I've learned,
I look forward to Brad getting his own ChatGPT.
What I've learned is how to use ChatGPT here in the last month or so, and just embracing it, that you don't have to depend on it necessarily, but use it as a tool. And that's what I've learned in the last month. What was the other question, PT?
Just something that either you look forward to or potentially think might come about.
So I'm looking forward to it just becoming more and more well refined. When I see the stuff that I type into Chat GPT as compared to the responses that I get on Ylopo and others like that, like Leo with Real 2, they're getting better and better. So I'm just looking forward to the future of what it's going to be like here in the next year, how it's going to basically sound, because it's going to get so used to me, just like me. So, and that'll be very interesting.
Yeah. Well, as I already said, I'm looking forward to Brad getting his own Chat GPT, because then I can find stuff in my history easier, because there's like, I'll go in and there's like 30 things that happened since last time I was in there. Usually things to do with nonsense like TVs and packing and what shoes to buy.
Real estate around the country,
stuff,
you know, that kind of stuff. Just
Yeah, all the time.
Scouting stuff out.
Anyway, but I think my biggest thing is just really when it comes to the behind the scenes, like data stuff and compiling data. I mean, it's pretty accurate, but I feel like there's just some refinements that need to happen on that side, especially like in a Chat GPT model. Now, I will say Leo within reason, our real system, our AI in there, our little concierge, I think he's, I mean, and maybe it's just because I'm using him more, which I remember, Tamir and them saying, use it if you don't ask the question and protest, but I feel like Leo's just come a lot. I mean, I can very rarely stump him these days. Like he literally knows the answer to everything. So I'm just looking forward to that continuing to grow. And I just am excited about not having to do some of the tedious tasks that I used to have to do, because I can be better for things that I actually do need to be a human being engaged in, rather than worrying about tedious stuff.
That's right. I think Brad will appreciate my answer. But the amazing thing that was brought up to real agents is that Leo will be able to, at some point, be able to review paperwork, which I think one is huge for multiple reasons. I think my thought process is very surface level, but the evolution of it potentially could mean, faster closings, simpler closings, different things like that. So I'm really excited to see how that process not only allows the paperwork side of a transaction to be smoother. I mean, we've already gone milestones from just, paperwork sitting in files at the brokerage offices, right? But, end goal, closings online, just different things that with the potential opportunities with how technology is evolving, I think really excites me.
I love the paperwork thing.
Yeah, it's I think it has a lot of cool potential opportunities. So,
I love with inside of our CRM, I forgot about this, how it analyzes now you get the text messages and then formulates a response for you so that you can, respond quicker. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's
great.
It's quite impressive to see, we were introduced probably to AI has been around forever, right? But we've probably been really introduced in the last year to 2 years, and just to see how far it's come from there is quite impressive, and who knows what we'll be in a year from now. So let us know how you use your AI in every single day. Maybe we'll learn something new. And if you have questions on how we use it, feel free to shoot us a DM, and we'll catch you on the other side. Peace.
Peace.